I want to tell you about a spectacular dining experience. It's Ports a Call Waterfront Dining, award-winning service and cuisine with a view of the dynamic L.A. harbor from every seat. Enjoy daily sunset specials, as well as the South Bay's best champagne brunch. The outdoor harborside patio is a perfect setting for happy hour every weekday from 3 to 8. Ports a Call Waterfront Dining. For reservations and directions, visit portsacalldining.com or call 310-833-3553. You are listening to Phil Hulett and Friends. I'm Phil Hulett. I thank you for tuning in. This is the talk show where you get nothing but fun, informative, sometimes unexpected conversation about the stories you care about. You'll hear from the experts, authors, and others. And we hope to put a little smile on your face along the way. Let's meet today's friend. Getting a kick out of life, it's Skylar Cuarisma.
Woohoo! And we are the champions again, Phil, which means it's party time in downtown LA.
If you listen to this program on iTunes, thanks for leaving a comment and a review, especially a good one. You're helping the show by doing that because the folks at iTunes read your comments and they notice your 5-star reviews. And don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe. Knock on your neighbor's door and tell them, subscribe. Well, Skylar, always wonderful to see you here.
Thank you.
As the one and only friend today. See, but you fill my friend card.
Thank you.
I don't feel a need for any additional friends today because you're
I'm
here.
enough.
Yes,
I'm enough, right?
Right. And how often have we been out there searching for enough?
Oh, we're always searching, aren't we?
Yes. But we are the champions again, my friend. Champions of what?
Well, hello, women's soccer.
Oh.
The U.S. women's national soccer team is being honored as we speak at a rally in Los Angeles. It's their first public appearance since winning the FIFA Women's World Cup, which is their third championship and first Women's World Cup title since 1999. So where's the party?
Where?
Downtown LA, of course.
Yeah.
LA Live.
L.A., Los Angeles, the hub of soccer.
And, speaking of the hub of soccer,
Yes.
So I was looking it up. Guess which state is actually voted the most enthusiastic state in the U.S. when it comes to soccer?
California.
I wish.
It's not?
No. Go north a couple.
To Washington?
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Guess what number California is?
2.
7.
No.
Yeah.
What, behind what? I don't know. I'm just thinking closer to
I don't remember.
Mexico, Texas.
Yeah, well,
Arizona.
actually, in that
Or
in that range.
maybe closer to Cuba, Florida.
But yeah, so everyone, at least in LA, that's a soccer fan, which is probably thousands, lined up around 7 a.m. to catch a glimpse of the new champs.
Yeah.
So we're excited for them. Big congratulations.
Here's what I'm thinking the Washington deal is. Perhaps there are more helicopter parents in Washington.
That might be it. I think you're onto something.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, and did you know that the women's team, is going to collect $2 million for winning this?
Really? You get cash?
Yeah.
You don't just get a trophy?
No, and guess how much the men get when they win?
$2 million?
8.
Oh, no, that's a travesty.
But guess who has never won the tournament?
The U.S. men.
Yep.
They suck. They do. When it comes to world competition, the men's soccer team isn't even, they're not even close.
Maybe that's why we're number 7.
Oh? Well, there's nothing wrong with women's soccer. I like
No,
watching.
but no, not at all.
When it comes to watching females compete, okay, in order, what did we agree? It's beach volleyball, right? Is number 1. Tennis is number 2, and soccer's number 3.
Okay,
and then after that, it's a wash. Golf.
What about gymnastics?
Well, is that a sport? You have judges.
You still have to be an athlete. You got to be flexible. Yeah. You got to have good balance.
You got to have
that upper body strength. I should know. I was
you got to have a voice like Minnie Mouse
1,000 years ago. Oh yeah, and you got to be 4 feet tall, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, and have joint problems.
Those you get later.
Yeah,
believe me.
Okay, moving on. There are other stories, of course, and staying in California for this story. Boy, we came real close to taking our own lives legally.
Yes. Yeah, legislation that would allow California physicians to help terminally ill patients end their lives has actually, though, met strong opposition from lawmakers in Catholic districts. And, it
went up for a vote in the legislature and got shot down.
Got shot down.
Yeah.
But no state has actually passed the right to die legislation this year, and efforts have been defeated or stalled in states such as Colorado, Maine, New Jersey, And
you can go to Oregon.
You can go to Oregon. Do you remember that woman, Brittany Maynard?
Yes.
She moved to Oregon.
And she did it on the internet.
Yeah, she did. She had brain cancer, so she moved there to legally end her life. And I remember watching the story; it made me cry.
Yeah. Well, see how
It was
it does
really
it if you have to have a doctor involved, and the doctor is ethical, and then the decision is made together with the doctor and with your family, et cetera. And so there's no controversy as to the end purpose, or the purpose that leads to your end, naturally, because you know how it is. You know, you have friends who have various thresholds for anxiety, and some of them want to end it all after their friend says something mean.
Right.
And that's not a reason. That's not a reason to invoke your right to die. And so if there's a physician involved, then I'm waffling on this a little bit because the whole sanctity of life thing. But then again, what's the purpose of life if you're on a 10 or 11 or a 12 on a scale of 1 to 10 in pain on a regular basis, and you can't have a quality life?
Right, and you can't speak, and you can't comprehend anything, or you can comprehend it in your mind, but you can't verbally express yourself.
And see, the other dynamic that feeds into this is before we had all these wonderful advancements in medicine that can keep you alive well beyond when maybe in 1950 you would have died within a matter of days.
Right.
But today, they can give you a pill or a shot or a quick little surgery, and you could live for another 50 years. So we have that additional dynamic that medicine jumps in, and the old Hippocratic Oath, do no harm and do whatever you can to save the person's life, right? And so I'm paraphrasing it. That's not exactly what it is, but doctors do their best to keep somebody alive. That's their oath. And so you have that conflict, and you have to have a law to usurp the Hippocratic Oath and the law against suicide, which is steeped in the understanding that life is it's something that you have to hold on to as long as you possibly can. There's nothing more valuable than human life.
Right, but do you think that some people do it for selfish reasons? Like when a family is deciding that their child who was in a horrific accident and will no longer be able to speak or walk, just kind of sits there in the bed, it's up to them to decide whether or not that their child should live or die. And they choose to keep that child alive because they don't want to have to deal with the loss.
Right.
Even though that child can't move, speak, can't do anything.
Yeah.
It's...
Well, they hold out hope that there is
course.
something there that can be nurtured and grown, and who knows, that somebody might grow up to be a Nobel laureate or something like that without being able to speak or move. You never know. Technology. They might say, let's wait another 5 years because medicine and technology will catch up with whatever it is that is ailing our child, and so there's that as well. It's a difficult thing for sure, but giving people the right, with the assistance of a doctor, just enhances your freedom of choice, I guess, in your pursuit of happiness. And if you can't be happy being alive because of medical conditions beyond your control, then I suppose I'm okay with it. It's just I feel weird saying I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I know. It's hard to admit. Well, in Montana, Oregon, Vermont, and Washington, they have court decisions or laws permitting doctors to prescribe life-ending drugs, and there's also a court ruling pending in New Mexico.
But then again, there are people who end their lives because they're stupid.
Yeah, that happens too.
Yeah, and 4th of July was probably a good time for that to happen.
Is that a good time?
Well, I mean, there's never a good time,
right?
But if you're looking for an excuse, there are people out there who just give them a chance and they'll blow their brains out.
Or just give them alcohol and fireworks.
Yeah.
And they'll blow their brains out.
Did something happen?
Something happened to 22-year-old Devin Staples. In Maine, he apparently set off a firework on top of his own head, instantly killing him, making him Maine's first fireworks fatality since they were legalized in 2012.
Well, they were legal before that. It's just that at some point they became illegal.
And then legal again.
Yes.
And now I don't know what's going to happen now that people are trying to pop them off their heads.
You take fireworks out of all the reasonable people's hands because there's one idiot.
Well, and let me ask you something, Phil. So I've never really touched fireworks. So how big is a mortar tube? Like the one he put on top of his... A mortar
tube?
That's what he put on top of his head.
Wait a minute. You use the word mortar, and I think, okay, fine. I'm not putting that anywhere near my face, let alone on my head. Mortar? That sounds like military grade.
Right?
Yes.
So he put it on top of his head, and then he lit it.
The mother of all fireworks.
Ugh. There's a...
I'm sorry to laugh.
I know. It's really... It's not funny. It's sad.
But in the grand scheme of things, in the human condition, this is one of the funnier ways somebody has died.
It's going to be on that show.
Yes. Funny ways people die.
Yep.
Isn't that what it is?
They're going to they're going to recreate it. It's going to be on TV. His friends are going to be interviewed. It's going to be a whole thing now.
I know. What have they done with my Oreos?
What have they done?
You'll find out next here on Phil Hulett and Friends. Thanks for tuning in. It's Phil Hulett and Friends. Friend. Skylar Cuarisma is here today. Did you know that 4 out of every 5 visitors to national parks are white people?
Wow.
It's true.
Not surprised.
Come on, you not white people. Visit our national parks. They're really very nice. But look at me. Maybe it doesn't appeal to you. I'm a white person. I think national parks are cool. A new type of Oreo is coming out next week.
New.
Yes. They're called Oreo Thins, and that's exactly what they are. They're like regular Oreos, but much skinnier. It's 2 smaller chocolate cookies sandwiching an almost invisible layer of cream filling. So what's the point? The cream filling is the point of Oreos, isn't it?
Correct.
For comparison's sake, an Oreo is 9 millimeters thick. An Oreo Thin is 5 millimeters thick. So they've erased 4 millimeters of gooey deliciousness. Because most of us are math nerds, right? At least I am. The volume comparison is stark. It's striking. The volume of a regular Oreo, get this, is 13,966 cubic millimeters.
All right.
The volume of an Oreo Thin is 8,907. You following me here?
I'm here. Yeah.
Do you know what that means? It means Oreo Thins are about 63% the total size of Oreos.
So they must be healthier.
So that's what you're thinking. Oh, those are so thin. I bet I can eat a ton of them and I'll get thin. Wrong. It's a huge scam. Each Oreo Thin is about 35 calories.
Okay.
Which is just 7 fewer calories than a regular Oreo.
Not 7. 7 calories.
7 calories.
That's it.
Yeah, because a regular Oreo is 42, right? So if you eat 3 Oreo Thins, you've already surpassed 2 regular Oreos, right?
Yeah.
105 versus 84, if you're following me with the math.
Carry
so
the
that
one.
means
an
Oreo Thin has 83% of the calories of a regular Oreo, but it's only 63% of the size. So it's more efficient if you're going for less fun.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah.
Give me the 7 calories.
So it's a huge scam. I say dip them in whipped cream, and then we're good.
And then we're good to go.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. All right. You know who's not good to go is, let's put it this way. Hugh Jackman, the actor, the Wolverine, is on a huge leash. Hugh Jackman is on a huge leash, isn't he?
What kind of? Yeah. I mean, okay. What do you think, Phil? What do you think the secret to a happy Hollywood marriage is?
Trust.
Sure.
Visitation.
Yeah. Like for Hugh Jackman and his wife of 20 years, mind you, there are 2. Number 1, never be apart for more than 2 weeks, which isn't a bad little
because
rule.
When you're in the biz, like when he was off singing those horrible songs in Les Miserables.
Ugh, don't even get me started.
Was he away from his wife for more than 2 weeks?
Well, no, because it's like there are 2 rules to this marriage.
But he was off in miserable land, wherever it was they were
But she
filming
probably
that
visited.
miserable movie.
Okay, so that's number 1.
Yeah.
Never be apart for more than 2 weeks. Number 2, he's not allowed to work with Angelina Jolie.
Why? Is there some history there?
Well, I don't think there's history, but not with them per se. But you remember the movie Mr. and Mrs. Smith?
Yeah.
She was starred in that with Brad Pitt, and at the time,
Hugh Jackman wasn't in that movie.
He had nothing to do with it.
Oh, okay.
But I think it might be her own insecurities because Brad and Angelina became Brangelina after that movie. But
because Brad was still with...
He was still with Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah.
And they denied all those rumors, that this on-screen romance was actually turning into an off-screen romance. Well, it turns out that it did. Now they have like 3,000 kids together.
But still, I mean, at this day, because Angelina Jolie, let's face it, she's making a transition from a gorgeous actress to world ambassador and possible politician. There was word that she was going to run for a Senate or a congressional seat at one point.
Right. I think, this was during an interview that they were doing with, in Australia. They did this joint interview. I think they were partly, she was partly joking because she's like, I'm sure she's lovely. But I feel like there was some seriousness to it.
There's always a bit of truth and humor, isn't there? Isn't there? Yeah. All right. Well, while we're talking about celebrities.
Yeah.
I've got 6 celebrities here who you may or may not have known had hidden talents.
Now, you mentioned that earlier.
I did.
And I'm excited to see who they are and what
did
their
I mention
hidden
it
talents
to our friends in the audience, or did I just mention it to you?
You know what? That might have been, off the air. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to give anything away.
That's okay. We can edit this part out. Condoleezza Rice, she's a celebrity.
She is.
Because we know who she is, right? And I knew this. She's a classical pianist.
See, I did not know that.
Yeah, and I said that carefully, pianist. I'm a trained announcer. Don't try that at home. If you're at home, say she plays the piano. But I say she's a classical pianist. There's a video of her playing Amazing Grace with a violinist named Jenny Oakes Baker. It's been making the rounds this week on the internet. And here are 5 more celebrities with hidden talents. Pierce Brosnan, you know who he is.
Of course.
He can breathe fire.
Really?
He learned how to do it back in 1969 when he was 16, but he stopped after he burned the inside of his mouth on an episode of The Muppets in 1996.
Wow.
There's video of that out there, too. Gina Davis.
Okay.
You remember her?
Of course. Thelma and Louise.
Yes. She's a world-class archer. Oh. She started doing archery as a hobby. That's a bow and arrow. Back in the late 90s, and almost made the Olympic team about 2 years later.
Really?
Yes. How about that?
That's impressive.
Now, why wasn't she in that movie about people with bows and arrows?
I don't know.
What's that movie? The famous one with Jennifer, what's her name?
Oh, Hunger Games?
Hunger Games. Why wasn't she in Hunger Games?
I don't know.
She could probably outshoot Jennifer, what's her name, in a archery battle.
I'm sure she could, and is Lawrence, I believe. You're looking for the last name
Jennifer Lawrence?
Yes.
Yes. Jennifer,
or we
what's
can
her
keep
name?
calling her
Jennifer,
what's her name?
You know who Steve Buscemi is.
Yes, he's hilarious.
Yeah, yeah, creepy guy, right?
A little creepy.
Yeah. He's an excellent juggler.
I can see that.
He wanted to be a street performer and practiced every day as a kid, showed off his skills in an episode of Boardwalk Empire back in 2012.
Nice.
Yeah. Christopher Walken, another creepy guy. You may not know that he's a lion tamer.
But that voice. Yeah, I can kind of see that.
Come here, you lion. He did it while he worked for a traveling circus when he was a teenager.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
He looks a little like a carny, doesn't he?
Yeah, he could totally pass for one.
Mike Rowe, you know who that is.
Oh, I love
He's
him.
the Dirty Jobs
Dirty
guy.
Jobs.
Yeah.
Dirty thoughts when it comes to micro.
Uh-oh.
That's okay.
I'm about to spoil the fantasy.
No.
He was an opera singer.
Oh, I knew that.
You did?
Yeah, and I think that's what makes him more attractive.
Yeah,
at least for me.
He wanted to be an actor but couldn't get his union card until he found out he could get it a lot faster if he started singing in the opera. So he auditioned for the Baltimore Opera
Good for
Company and did shows there for the next 6 years.
Nice.
Yeah. So how about that? Did you know that?
I did.
Working down there in the sewer, getting all dirty, he could sing opera where it's nice and cacophonous and echoey. That would sound great. It's better than singing in the shower if you're in the sewer. And
Anything
and the
is
rats
better.
don't throw stuff at you.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. So we have what else? Oh, do you go to the Starbucks?
I do. I went there today.
You spend a little money there, don't you?
I do. $4.45 every time.
Is that 1 cup of coffee?
Well, I get a caramel macchiato. I'm a little fancy.
A caramel what?
Macchiato.
What goes in that?
For me, it's non-fat milk, sugar-free caramel, and coffee.
Do you pay extra for the non-fat and the sugar-free?
No, I think it's all the same.
It's the same as the fat and the sugar full.
Yeah, I don't get a discount.
No? $4.50?
$4.45.
What's the volume?
This right here.
Oh, okay. What do they call that? A venti?
This is a grande.
It's
a medium.
What's bigger, a venti or a grande?
Venti is bigger than a grande.
Is there
And a
something-
tall, believe it or not, is actually the smallest.
What's bigger than a venti?
I don't think there is a bigger one.
There
a
isn't?
big gulp.
Is there
But that's 7-Eleven.
a Gigante?
Or Circle K.
Yeah.
I forget.
They should have a Hugante.
Gigante.
So what's the deal with Starbucks? Are prices coming down because the price of coffee's coming down?
Nope. Actually, prices are going up.
No.
No,
Really?
yeah, seriously. So if you were thinking, you know what, Starbucks really isn't expensive enough, well, apparently they totally agree with you. Starbucks prices are going up nationwide. Most drinks are going to cost between 5 cents and 20 cents more. And you might think it's because coffee beans are getting more expensive, so they're passing the cost on to you. But they're actually going down. Starbucks says the price increase is to cover things like rent, equipment, and salaries, because now that's our responsibility.
You hear that, Dunkin' Donuts and McDonald's? Now's your chance to lower your prices and eat into the domain of coffeedom that Starbucks seems to have a handle on. I don't get it. I don't drink their coffee.
You don't? Really?
It's too bitter for me.
Oh.
It's not my style.
All right.
You are listening to Phil Hulett and Friends. This is hour 2 of the talk show, where you get nothing but fun, informative, sometimes unexpected conversation about the stories you care about. You'll hear from the experts, authors, and others. And we hope to put a little smile on your face along the way. This hour, people swear by it, but does acupuncture really work, or does your brain do all the healing by suggestion? We'll speak with a specialist. Our travel guy knows which beaches to visit for any purpose, from body surfing to body watching. He should know. And he joins us live. Skylar Cuarisma is here. I'm Phil Hulett. I have surfing in my heart. Thanks for listening. What?
You do.
That's what we learned from the first hour.
We sure did.
Go back and listen to it and subscribe to the program. Thank you. All right, fine. I've had a little acupuncture, so I'm going to add my personal experience when that expert comes on.
Okay, I have not, so I'm going to listen.
So somebody who's experienced in various things is someone, an actress we affectionately call Lilo. And she's in the news again for, boy, if we had the negotiating skills that she has,
right,
we would be so far along, wouldn't we?
Or does she?
Yeah.
Yeah, Lindsay Lohan, did she turn down a whopper of a deal, or is it the other way around? The actress / tabloid regular apparently rejected Burger King's offer to star in one of its ads. Lohan was asked to wear a spicy chicken fries carton and smoke a chicken fry as if it were a cigarette.
She had to put on a carton.
Yeah.
The kind that you have your fries in.
Right. And then they wanted her to smoke a chicken fry.
So why she'd be wearing the carton just because, why? Because she's drunk? She's loaded
spicy
on...
chicken fries are back, and apparently she's the person to let everyone know that. So she allegedly rejected the deal because it poked fun at her past.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why.
All right.
Not because she didn't want to dress up as a carton of spicy chicken fries. Apparently she really wanted to do that.
She did.
Well, I don't know. But anyway.
That sounds fun.
Another source says it's actually the other way around, that Burger King rejected her because she wanted creative control and to make too many changes to the script. And I don't know what kind of script she would have been making a lot of
Put on your
changes
fries carton and shut up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm just sad we're not going to see that.
No, yeah, me too. But the whole thing about digging into her past. She does a commercial where she drives up to a school in a car and goes up the curb and rolls down the window with a cigarette in her mouth, I think, and looks to a kid and says, "Kid, get in the car." And he says, "You're not my mom."
Not only that, you know how many car accidents she's been in?
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't know how many cigarettes she smoked.
So talk about digging into the past. She was okay with that ad.
Maybe she's trying to turn a new leaf.
Yeah, maybe.
Who knows?
Yeah. Incidentally, good news on the negotiation front. If you're a Simpsons fan, Harry Shearer has decided, yes, he will, after all, be on the program after saying that he was quitting, and that was it. So now we have Mr. Burns and Smithers and all the various characters that he does that we love. Ned Flanders, right? On The Simpsons. How can you do The Simpsons without Harry Shearer unless you hire somebody who sounds like Harry Shearer, which I bet there's a whole line of those people outside the door there at Simpsons Land.
And they're probably very upset right now.
Yeah, right. What? I thought I was going to get the gig. All right, so the furor of late over the Confederate flag has an exclamation point now in South Carolina, where there's been some decision made there at the state capitol. Is that correct?
Yeah, it looks like the Confederate flag could be coming down from the South Carolina State House grounds. The governor's for it. Nearly all state senators are backing it, and petitioners are collecting signatures by the hundreds of thousands.
Yeah.
So a final Senate vote of 36-3 sent the bill to the House late Tuesday morning today.
Yeah.
The South Carolina House of Representatives vote 93-18 to send the flag bill directly to the floor and bypass committee.
Fine. Get that American flag up there and get your state flag, and that's it.
Exactly.
Right? Okay. Before we snatch it right off of there. Speaking of snatching.
I had the feeling you were going to do that.
Yes. Tell us about the panty snatcher.
Well, this story is for the ladies of Malaysia. You can officially release your panties from captivity because the underwear thief of Penang has been caught. You heard about him, right?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, he's the serial snatcher of ladies' undergarments.
Oh.
And he's been nabbed red-handed, all thanks to a red bra, believe it or not.
Oh.
Residents of two 45-story megacity condominium complexes outside of Georgetown, Penang had been suffering a series of brazen bra heists as often as 3 times a day.
Did you say brazen bra heists?
Yes, I did. And I got the story from vanwinkles.com. He's hilarious, by the way.
Yeah, good.
So management was aware of the problem, but the thief was reportedly clever enough to avoid elevators and corridors with cameras. Finally, residents took it upon themselves to nab the knicker nipper. So they hung up a red bra in a public area as bait. Like a moth to a flame, the thief struck. Security hiding in wait followed the man back to his apartment where they hit the panty jackpot.
Oh.
They also found quite a few more intimate items, an estimated 1,000 to be exact. So get this, management has put the goods on display, encouraging residents to, come on, claim your unmentionables. But very few have, and probably for good reason.
Yes, probably. Who knows what that
Would you?
creepy guy did with them.
Would you go grab yours?
No.
Your unmentionables?
Let's go to this excuse to go shopping.
Exactly.
Yeah. By the way, the number one source of antioxidants in America,
Oh, yes. What
or
is
for Americans, do
Okay.
you want to know what it is?
I do.
Do you want to give a guess? Number one for antioxidants for Americans.
I was going to say blueberries.
Blueberries?
Yeah.
No, you're wrong.
Okay, great.
The number one source for antioxidants for Americans is coffee.
Oh.
Nothing else comes close, not even fruits and vegetables, not even your blueberries.
You know what? I believe it.
You do?
I do.
Okay, so you're getting your antioxidants because you're drinking your coffee.
See?
Or your macchiato. What
It's
is it?
still my
that-
caramel macchiato.
Yeah. Jeez. Man, the movie stars are getting all the sex, aren't they?
Don't they always?
Is that movie stars, rock stars, right?
Exactly.
If they just told you in school, right? Never mind all this study and all that. Learn acting and learn how to play a guitar. If they just be honest with you and tell you, if that's what you're trying to do in life is to just get a lot of sex.
Then you wouldn't have to try so hard.
Yeah, because look, clearly that is the life goal of a lot of people once they're grown-ups and they realize, dude, I didn't learn anything except how to dig a ditch, or I practiced this math stuff and now I can do an equation or a formula or a theorem.
Right.
That's not getting any chicks.
No, not the hot ones anyway.
But the acting thing, though, we learn from time to time just how prolific the sex life of actors and actresses is. And we have a new example of that. And this guy passed away a year ago or so, didn't he?
He did, but you know what lives on?
That love and feeling?
That love and feeling. Peter O'Toole.
Lawrence of Arabia.
Yes. Man, he was a heartthrob back in the day. He had no trouble with the ladies. And there's actually a new book called Peter O'Toole, Hellraiser, Sexual Outlaw, Irish Rebel coming out. And in it'll tell you how many women he slept with. What do you think?
Does it list them?
Well, it lists a few.
I'm thinking a couple hundred.
Okay.
That's pretty prolific,
For Lawrence
isn't
of Arabia? Like, really?
Well, I mean, that film alone probably got him several dozen.
Okay. Well, why don't you multiply that by, I don't even know because I'm not going to do the math right now, over 1,000. He has slept with over 1,000 women, 1,033 to be exact, including Audrey Hepburn.
Audrey Hepburn,
she did it. She went for it.
Wow.
So I wonder how many
And she was a babe at the time.
She
wasn't
was a babe, yeah. So how many pair of panties do you think he?
Oh, he's not
was
the
able to
he wasn't the
snatch?
patty snatcher. But in this case, no, he wouldn't need to snatch them. They
They were just
hello,
thrown
Mr.
at him.
O'Toole. Here, take my panties. Oh, thank you very much.
How do you find time?
Let me introduce you to O'Toole.
You think that's what he called it?
No, he should if he didn't. In fact, most men, 73% of men actually do have a nickname for their junk.
I believe it.
For their O'Toole, as it were. This is a new survey, and of the guys who have nicknamed, 72% went with nicknames that evoke strength and power.
Of course.
And 59% say a woman came up with the nickname.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well,
we're clever sometimes.
Yeah, or the guys are clever to weave that kind of lore. The 11 most popular nicknames. This means that lots of guys use these nicknames, these 11. And I can tell you that I've never, none of them.
I don't think.
One of them is Troy.
All right. Because of Brad Pitt?
I don't know. Maybe a lot of these guys are dating gals named Helen. Hercules is another one.
Yeah.
The Rock.
Yeah, I can see that.
How does that make The Rock feel?
Can you smell what The Rock is cooking?
Oh, God. If you're doing it right, I guess.
That was so wrong.
This one, again, multiple versions, multiple usage, because these are the most popular nicknames. Russell the Muscle.
No.
Never heard of that one.
No.
How about Wilfred?
The big dog?
Yes.
Oh, no.
Well, yeah, there's the big dog, Wilfred. That makes sense.
Okay.
Then there's Dave. Like to introduce you to Dave.
Okay.
All right. There's Jerry. These are the most popular nicknames.
Are they just naming them after themselves?
There's Johnny, which I can
Johnny.
see, right? Yeah. Okay. There's Randy.
Yeah.
You can see that?
Well, yeah. Do I make you Randy, baby?
How about Wendell? Is that another big dog?
No, I'm thinking Clifford.
Yeah, that's right. But Clifford didn't make the list.
No.
But Napoleon did.
Yeah.
Well, yeah?
Well, Napoleon Dynamite.
But he was short. Napoleon, the original Napoleon.
Yeah, I know, but maybe they were equal.
I mean, little guy syndrome. Okay, fine. Here's my little guy. His name is Napoleon.
Yeah. Love it.
He's got a syndrome and needs some therapy. Gosh.
Oh, that went south.
You know who might need some therapy is this dude who recently tried to get airborne in a creative way.
Tried. He succeeded.
What did he do?
Well, I've always wanted to do this. I never thought it could actually be done. So there was a guy who got 110 helium balloons, attached it to a lawn chair, and floated up in the air. This 26-year-old dude in Canada apparently wanted to get attention for his cleaning business. So he tied all those balloons to a lawn chair, floated up into the sky, and believe it or not, he actually landed safely. But guess who was there?
Who was there?
Guess who was there to greet him after he landed?
A welcoming party.
Yeah, called the cops.
No.
Yep. Yeah, they weren't going to let him get away with that. So we're not actually sure how high he got, but it was high enough to get a lot of attention.
Yeah, he must have gotten into airspace.
Mm-hmm. He was charged with mischief, since the chair could have hurt someone when it fell. Yeah. And he could be facing more charges for violating Canada's federal aviation laws. Oh, by the way, that happened in Canada. Sorry.
Do Canada. Mm-hmm. Now, in our first hour, we had a guy who killed himself inadvertently by lighting off a very powerful firework perched on his head.
Yeah.
This hour, we have another guy who had a creative way of dying. A guy in Texas. He wanted to go swimming in a marina this past weekend, but people warned him there was a 12-foot gator in there. So he yelled, quote, "F that gator."
Well,
he jumped in and was dragged underwater and killed by that 12-foot alligator.
So,
famous last words. Yeah.
F that gator.
Do you use the self-checkout when you go to the store?
I do, actually. Only when I have a couple items.
How do you do with that? Pretty good?
Fine. It's easy.
I seem to do well until I get multiple items.
Yes.
And then I get impatient.
It's
and
frustrating.
I call the lady over, the attendant who gets to watch the frustrated people. Mm-hmm. And I say, "Is there a way to do multiples?" And she says, "Yes, there is." And then she has to use a key and dial in a secret code and all these different things. And I said, "Why can't I just do it?" She said, "I'm sorry. They just these machines aren't that smart." But so I'm smarter than the machine. I should be able to go up there and type in, hit a button, and then type a number 9.
Apples times 3.
I bought 9 of these.
Yeah,
okay?
whatever.
Fine. They don't want to do that.
Why?
Maybe we'll screw up and we'll end up buying 10 but when we only had 7.
Or maybe then that would put the attendant out of work.
A 56-year-old woman got a little frustrated doing the self-checkout thing. She was at a grocery store in Wisconsin last week. And after she got her cheese in the bag, but she got a few other things, she was so frustrated when she started screaming. things weren't going well. So when the manager tried to calm her down, she hit him in the face.
What?
She hit him in the face with a VCR.
She had a VCR?
Yeah, that's the weirdest part of the story, isn't it?
Yes.
And then she took off. But the cops caught her later and arrested her for disorderly conduct.
With a VCR.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, ladies.
By the way, the most popular video game channel on YouTube made $7.5 million last year. Just some kid sitting around playing video games and other people watching him play video games.
Oh, man.
$7.5 million last year.
That's what it's come to.
Yeah, it has.
Well, you didn't get my money.
We love your comments. Click contact at philhewlettandfriends.com. We're on Twitter at FAFShow, P-H-A-F. Facebook.com/Phil Hewlett and Friends. If you listen on iTunes, thanks for leaving a comment and a review. Leave us a voicemail. Look for the blue tab on the website. It's free. You just need a mic on your computer. Thanks to our executive producer, Mike Stark, our producer, Brooke Peterson, our production assistant, Ryan Hayden. Our theme song is composed and performed by Russ Monson. For Skylar Cuarisma and all of the friends, I'm Phil. Talk to you next time on Phil Hewlett and Friends.